first memory?
I don't know. Let me think. When I fell off my bike when I was a kid, I was wearing my favorite blue Velcro shoes because I was waiting on my mom to come over to put some antiseptic on my knee. And what she did, it stung really, really bad.
Wow, that's cool that you remember all that. Do you remember that we have a quiz tomorrow?
Quiz? I totally forgot about it. What's going to be on the quiz?
It's our science quiz. It's about the different states of matter.
Have you ever wondered why some memories are easy to recall and others seem very hazy in the back of your mind? Well, the brain is a mysterious thing, but there are some things that we have uncovered. The more story that surrounds a memory, the easier it is to recall. This kind of time travel is what scientists call episodic or autobiographical memory, for obvious reasons. It has some of the same sensual texture as the original experience, the same narrative structure. When information is connected to a story, makes it easier for the brain to retrieve the information more readily.
Oh, I'll never be able to remember all this information for the quiz.
You know what I found helps me remember information?
What?
I always make a story out of what I'm trying to recall. It makes it easier to remember later.
What do you mean?
Like the States of Matter quiz. I think about a character called Superwater. She can change shape in a single bond.
You ready for all your classes today?
I think so. I have a lot on my plate right now, so I'm feeling kind of stressed.
Wow, what's up?
I have a big project due in English, and I have a history midterm and a Latin quiz. Plus, I was up late last night listening to my parents fight because I think they're getting a divorce.
Wow, no wonder why you're so stressed. How do you remember everything for your quiz?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Have you ever wondered how you manage to forget things? If recollecting is just that, a recollection of perceptions, facts, and ideas scattered in intertwining neural networks in the dark storm of the brain, then forgetting acts to block the background noise, the static, so that the right signals stand out. The sharpness of one depends on the strength of the other. Your brain is a magnificent instrument that manages to filter out the information to make you retrieve what is most important to you.
I'm just so stressed. I don't know how I'm going to deal with my parents' divorce and still remember everything for school.
I think you need to check in with your school guidance counselor. Your brain is going to prioritize the most important things first until you handle your feelings. You won't be able to focus on other things that you have to do.
Maybe you're right. I'll check in with my guidance counselor right before my first class, and maybe then I can focus on my work.
Okay, I have faith in you. I know how important school is to you. I'll never be able to remember all this information.
Why do you say that?
There's so much to remember, and I'm not good at studying like some people.
Hey, studying's something you learn to do, not a special gift.
That isn't how I feel. Other kids get A's all the time. I keep getting D's.
Why don't you do what they do?
What's the secret to what they do? I don't know what they do after they leave class.
Good point. Let's look at some ways that we can learn how to study.
Have you ever wondered how your mode of studying impacts your way of recalling information the most effectively? In one investigation, for example, people who studied a list of nonsense syllables on blue-gray cards remembered 20% more of them on a later test when the test cards were also blue-gray. In other words, try to study in a way that is similar to your testing environment in order to have the best chance of doing well on the test.
I did so much better on this quiz.
What? Yay! What did you do differently?
I used flashcards and I used the online quiz maker. Plus, I used some classmates.
That's great. I'm going to try that for this math test that I have this Friday. can't go out tonight. I have a big history test that I have to study for.
What's up?
I need to study for my big test tomorrow. I really want to do well.
Have you been reviewing your notes the past few weeks?
No, I have been super busy with my other classes, but I figured if I studied for a few hours tonight, it would be the same thing as studying all week.
No, it's definitely not the same thing.
Why not?
Have you ever wondered how and when you should study to be the most effective? People learn at least as much and retain it much longer when they distribute or space out their study time. In other words, to study most effectively, you need to do a little bit each day.
I totally bombed that test last week, but I remember what you told me.
Oh yeah? What was that?
This week, I studied in my notes a little bit each night. I didn't have to stress out the night before because I already knew all the information. I just reviewed everything and then went to bed.
Nice. How did that work out for you?
I got a B+.
That's great. I knew you can do it. I'll never remember anything for this Latin quiz
Why do you say that?
because I've looked over this stuff so many times, and whenever I take the quiz, I forget everything.
Oh, that is frustrating. How are you studying?
I just read over my notes.
I know I tend to do better on quizzes when I study the way the teacher gives the quiz. What does your teacher do to quiz you?
She gives us words in Latin, and then we have to find the meaning.
Have you ever wondered why you studied for a test, but it just didn't stick? The fluency illusion is the primary culprit in below average test performance. Not anxiety, not stress, not unfairness or bad luck. It isn't just knowing information, but knowing how to apply that information.
I got 100 on my quiz.
Yay, how did you manage that?
I set up some practice quizzes to do the same format as the teachers typically use. The extra practice helped me do so much better on the real test.
See, we can be smart if we study smart.